Hey guys, welcome back to Artillery Fishing, and today we are going to figure out what is the best stick bait and what is the best bang for your buck when it comes to stick baits, along with an underwater test to go ahead and see how these things look. Let's do it. Hey guys, so if you're new to the channel, please go ahead, check out this video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe. If not, then hey, whatever, at least you're watching. Let's go ahead and talk about these stick baits. We are going to do an underwater test, both Texas rigged, weightless, and Wacky rigged, so that way you can go ahead and see what this bait looks like underwater, make the best decision for yourself. We're going to categorize them, not really categorize, but we're going to talk about the prices and a little bit of what they are. You go ahead once again and make that decision for yourself, which one you like best. If you don't know what a stick bait is, it's pretty much this. This is exactly what it looks like. And if you've never seen them, heard of them before, that's fine. This is an awesome way to catch fish. It is a go-to for many fishermen, especially like a last resort. Like, man, I've tried everything. Let me just go ahead and start chucking this thing around weightless and see what happens. And it doesn't look like much, but trust me, these things work. So what we are going to do is we'll put them in the tank, we'll watch them fall, we'll see what the action is, because at the end of the day, that's where the money making is in the action. Is it going to fall dead like a stick? Is it going to wiggle on the way down? We're going to check those things out. And we're also, once again, like I said, talk about the price. So the one I just showed you here and the one in my hand, this is a Yamamoto Senko. If you don't know what this is the stick bait that everybody knows and loves because they're so darn effective at catching fish. On the downside, they can be pretty expensive. Once again, average price is somewhere on the screen, but you can expect to see them anywhere between $5.50 to $8, depending on where you're getting them at. But we're going to go ahead and go over these, and these will be typically the most expensive ones that we go over today. Now, the next thing I do want to go over is how many are in each package. So once again, we're with the Yamamoto Senkos. Let's go ahead and see how many are in this bad boy so you know. And yeah, they have 10. Just counted it, confirmed it. They have 10 per package. So that's how many you're getting for about, like I said, $5.50 to $8. All right, the next one we're going to go over is kind of a newer addition to the stick world bait, and that is, if you've watched YouTube before, or maybe you're new to fishing, a younger crowd usually likes these guys, but it's the baits that the Guggen Squad made, and this is called a lunker log. So we're going to go ahead and show what this one is like to see how much it is, or how well it works actually. And if you wanted to know, this is probably the second most expensive one. It is over the $5 price range, but we're going to go ahead and check it out. And if you want to know, there are 8 in a package, and they actually have a very strong, unique smell when you open it up. I mean, I can't really describe it unless you actually smell it yourself, but these are actually scented, which is different from a lot of other stick baits. You don't see too many scented stick baits out there, but we'll go ahead and see if these things are legit or not. All right, next up, you probably heard of this guy if you like fishing, KVD. All right, so we're going to look at the KVD plastic series right here, and these are his style stick bait. I believe he calls these perfect plastics because that's what's written right there. We got the nice white color right there, because I am actually going to go ahead and use these things, if they are pretty effective. And I like throwing white Senkos out every now and again, depending on the water clarity. Continuing on, yes, this is the KVD one. We're going to check this out. This is probably going to be the next most expensive one. Once again, priced somewhere over here. And for these, you do get 8 in a package. So not as many as the Yamamoto Senkos, but the same amount as the Guggen ones. And it says advertised on here that there is a coffee scent, but honestly, I can't smell the coffee scent very well. I've never actually used these before, so I'm not sure if maybe this is just a defect, but it does say coffee scent, and I don't really smell the coffee in it. All right, the next one is going to be the Yums. All right, you've probably seen these. These are a little bit more of a bargain. Oh, I just kicked something. These are a little bit more of a bargain brand, and we got like a nice little sparkly black color there. There are 8 in a package, so once again, same as the KVD, same as the Guggen Squad ones. We're going to go ahead and see how these work out. A little bit different from the other ones that we've had. This actually has a slit in the upper portion, so that way your hook can go ahead and sit nice and flush, and you don't got to worry about hooking it up. I've used those before, and I've Mixed opinions. It kind of works, it doesn't work. Personally, I'd rather just not have a slit at all, so that way I can go ahead and turn that sucker whichever way I want. And if, let's say if I don't put it on perfectly, you know, I'm not worried about twisting the bait around and all that to get it perfect. So nevertheless, it does have that, and I'll show you what that slit is right here. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to see it or not, but if you can tell right here, there is a nice little slit, and that is where essentially this thing would, it's not going to focus, but yeah, if you could see it right there, that's pretty much when you Texas rig this, that way the hook can go ahead and sit flush right on there. All right, let's move into the next one. All right, next one, we are going to go over these Z-Man Elastics ones. All right, this is Elastec, and if you never heard of Elastec, it's actually super, super durable. So I can tell you right now, I've used Elastec compared to anything else, and these things are strong, they stretch, they're pretty much amazing. They do have a tendency, if you leave them in the heat, to melt and actually get stuck on things. I've had that happen before. But overall, this Elastec stuff is sweet, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so it looks like a normal stick bait. They actually have like some little appendages here on theirs. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's kind of different. But what these things do that are different from the other baits is you can actually, like, look how far I'm stretching that. I'm stretching it out like crazy. This shouldn't be this long, and it just goes right back into place. That's what Elastec is. And it's honestly, I love it. I love it for my Ned rigs. I love it for drop shotting, things like that. This Elastec works great. It's super durable and it's awesome. So there are only 6 in a package though. So beware of that. That is our lowest one so far. There are only 6 in a package when it comes to these guys. But at the same time, you are getting quality when it comes to the actual durability of the bait. All right, and our last one is going to be these big bite baits. Obviously, there's way more out there, but these were pretty much generally a lot of the ones that I see out there. These are big bite baits. These are probably your more bottom of the barrel when it comes to price range, but let's see how effective it is. So with these guys, you also get 8 to a package, and it is scented, and it also has that little subdued line there inside the bait, so that way you can go ahead and, if you're worried about, you know, not text posing, or maybe you just want to go weedless or whatever, it does have that little subdued line in the bait. Once again, 8 come in here, and it is scented, so a little bit of bonus. All right, so now let's talk about how we're going to rig these things up. We are going to be fair, and we're going to rig them up on the same hooks for each style, Wacky rig and Texas rig. All right, so for Texas rig, we are going to go ahead and use this hook right here, this style hook you see right here, just a standard shank worm hook right here. Very good. This is the style hook that you would typically want to throw on a Texas rig stick bait. Reason being is it stays on there better with the way that you see the line. Now for our Wacky rig, we are going to go ahead and use one of these bad boys. This is just a nice little hook, and it's got a weed guard on it right here. And I'm sorry, I do not know the brand name to this. I bought these a while ago, and I always empty them out and put them into my tackle box. But I found that these do work effective, and they are good at stopping weeds, and I think a lot of people do like to throw Wacky rigs in this style. So we'll go ahead and try it out. We'll see what it looks like when it falls. All right, well, let's go ahead and head over to the tank and see how these things produce. Okay, so the first one up is going to be the Yamamoto Senko. Here we go. Next one's going to be the Guggen Lunker Log. Next one is the KVD. And something I did notice that I didn't point out to you in the video, this is actually has some squared up edges, which I thought was kind of interesting. But we'll go ahead and see how it looks. KVD. Next up is the Yums. This is the one with the subdued side. And this is how that subdued side looks with the hook right there. Next up is the Z-Man. This is the Elastec one. So let's see how this sucker does. That is interesting. It literally... What? That's different. What is that? What? Last but not least for the Texas rig, this is the Big Bite Baits, the bargain brand one. Barely moved. Okay, hopefully my face isn't huge. Let's move over to the Wacky rig. Quick disclaimer, I know there's 1,000 ways to do Wacky rig, but today we are just gonna hook it straight through the bait instead of using any bands. This is the Yamamoto Senko. Wow. Now that's a lot of action. Wow. Next is the Guggenlunker log. Oh wow. Much more impressive on the Wacky rig than it was on the Texas rig. Next, KVD Perfect Plastic. Oh wow. Not as much as the Yamamoto or the Guggen. Not as much Wacky. Now for the Yum. Oh, there we go. It's got a little bit more than that. Now for the Elastec. Z-Man. Oh my gosh. It's not even sinking. Wow. Nope. Okay, so I've never used this Z-Man Elastec before. So this one right here does say, right on the back, that it will float when not weighted. So I guess the weightless test for this is kind of null and void, but still an option out there for you if you want to use a top water soft plastic or something like that, I guess. Last but not least is the Big Bite Baits. Okay, now that we're done with our testing, I'm gonna go ahead and go back and analyze the video, check it out, and give you my final thoughts. Okay, now after watching all those videos and seeing what they looked like, different setups, gave it a couple test runs, see how it goes. Obviously, disclaimer, in a big body of water where it has a lot more, maybe 5, 6, 7 feet to drop, the action's gonna pick up a little bit more. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, but this was just to see a quick take of reaction of how much movement it can get within just 1.5 feet, 2 feet of water. All right, we're gonna go ahead and decide what the winner was based off of a few different categories. We're gonna have the worst one, obviously. We're gonna have the best expensive one, and expensive means over $5, which means it's either between the Yamamoto or the Guggen one. We're going to do best bargain one. We are also going to do best Texas rig, best wacky rig, and best overall. So let's go ahead and start with the worst one. All right, so the ultimate loser, and once again, this is 100% my opinion. Make this own choice based off of what you saw and what you researched, but the worst one in my opinion was the absolute cheapest one, which was the Big Bite Baits Senko here. What do they even call this? It doesn't even say. It just says Big Bite Baits Trick Stick. There you go, Trick Stick. You know, it just did not have the movement that you would have liked to seen out of any stick bait. It kind of, will it catch a fish? It probably will. You're always going to get something to bite on something. But this, for the money and everything, it's just not worth it. Let's go ahead and give it a strength test, though, to see how durable this is. Remember, this one is scented. It has a little subdued mark, whether or not, I personally don't like those, but hey, if you do. And let's see how strong it is. Ooh. So actually, it is decently strong. Took me a little bit of muscle to get that moved. I'm just wasting money now at this point. But hey, I just wanted to get this out for y'all. So you'd see how strong it was, just kind of based upon how easy it was for me to rip up. Another disclaimer before we keep moving on. I am going to completely eliminate the Elastec here. Look how far I'm stretching this thing. But I'm gonna eliminate the Elastec. The only reason being is, like I said in the video, if I didn't edit that part out, is the package does say that when this is weightless, it will float on water. So this kind of just discriminates against what we were trying to get at, which is why I think in the video where you saw Texas rig, it was like barely floating down, and then on the wacky rig it didn't even move. It stayed on the top of the water. Sadly, we're just going to eliminate this one. No judgment called on it, because this is obviously either meant for something, you're going to do something top water to it, or you are going to put a weight on it and make it a weighted Texas rig. But Elastec, baby, look at that. All right, winner for the best cheap stick bait, Senko bait, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be the Yum. All right, the Yum honestly was not horrible for the price. It moved, it wiggled, it had movement, it did everything that you would want a stick bait to do. So honestly, good job, Yum, on making an affordable, decent stick bait. This was my favorite one for the cheapies. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, you know, and actually it's decently tough. A lot of glitter. I don't know if you can hear it when it moved around, but it was surprisingly tougher than I thought. Okay, so best Texas rig. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Yamamoto Senko. All right. This might not come as a surprise to some people, but honestly, I thought it performed the best in the Texas rig category. Now, deciding whether or not you want this or the Yum version, which is the broken one I have here, honestly, you know, I might actually start going for the Yum ones because of the cost difference. It's a couple dollar difference between Yum and these, and that actually might be worth it because these, as I said in the beginning of the video, these do break apart decently easy. So this was, in my opinion, the best when it came to the Texas rig. But I don't think Yum is very far behind. I actually might start buying Yum now to save a little bit of bucks. All right, best wacky rig. And surprise, surprise, I've never messed with this before, never really heard anything about it, but it's going to be the Guggen one. I know a lot of people like to rip on these dudes, you know, because they're not professionals and whatnot, but at the same time, they are getting a bunch of people in the fish. So, hey, I got no hate for that, you know. Plus, they're doing a better job than I am too. You see my subscriber count? Not even close. But these guys got their own baits too. I mean, that's freaking awesome. So no hating on the Guggen Squad for me. But this bait right here, between the scent and it was very slimy. That was kind of weird. It was a very slimy bait too. I can't really get that. Know what that scent is. It's kind of piney, but at the same time not. I don't know. Something different. And honestly, this did the best, in my opinion, in the wacky rig. It was moving like crazy. Did y'all see that? All right, now before we move on to our overall winner, once again, my opinion, the one that did not get picked for anything was the KVD. Sorry, man. Sorry, KVD. Your lures, your square bills, your deep dives, man, they are amazing. But this thing was just not very impressive. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. I think it did better on the Texas rig than the wacky rig, in my opinion. but it just did not impress me. Let's go ahead and test strength it. Oh, this is actually tough. Okay, so you got a pretty good durability there on your plastics. Maybe that's why. So it is very durable. All right, so now let's come down to this. Best overall, final three right here. We got Yum, we got Guggen, and we got Yamamoto. And the winner for best overall, in my opinion, is the Yamamoto. Yes. Call me typical, call me whatever. Yum put up one heck of a fight for being a cheap brand, though, in my opinion. It was good. It was good on the Wacky rig. It was better on the Texas rig. It was a very surprisingly good bait, and it's honestly neck and neck with this guy right here. The only reason why I would put the Guggen baits just above the Yum was because the Wacky rig was just so much more insane in the action. Once again, all my opinion, and maybe I'll change my mind in the future. Go back, check out the video, and see what's up. So Yum is not far off. It is right up there. I mean, if I had to, like, it's like that. It's not like this or anything like that. It's not like this. It's like that. Like, they're that close. They are close to each other. It was just the Wacky rig did it in for second for me. Now let's go ahead and talk about our winner, Yamamoto, okay? So these Yamamoto Senkos, winner for a few different reasons, okay? Number one, because one, they have 10 worms in their package. Number two, because they had the best overall action. I mean, between the Texas rig and the Wacky rig and all that stuff, it was awesome. The only downfall that I really do give these Yamamoto Senkos is the strength test. And the only two we haven't done so far yet is the Guggen and the Yamamoto. And I hate doing this because these are some expensive baits. You're paying over $5 for a stick bait. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, Guggen goes up first because I already know Yamamoto is kind of weak. Let's try the Guggen. You know, not that strong. Not as strong as I would like it to be. So this would probably get tore up decently fast. Not the weakest we've had, but it's not that strong either, though. Let's do Yamamoto. There you go. Yamamoto. Typical, you know, these do get chewed up very, very easily. So, hey, thanks for watching this video. I know this was probably kind of a long one, and maybe you already have your opinion made up about stick baits. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe it, whatever you want. I just do this for fun. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to get YouTube famous and all that crazy stuff. I just really enjoy making these videos, and I would love to get them out there, you know, from my perspective. So anyways, that's all we got for today. Thank y'all for watching. And hey, maybe let me know in the comments if you want me to go out there. I'll take all these baits out and I'll go out in the water and at a prime time day, and I'll rig up a pole with each one, and we'll see which one can get fish to smash on it. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one. This is Tim, Artillery Life, out.